be a part of this tent. I don't want to be a part of this craziness anymore. They're accelerating my rightward shift. I don't want this nonsense. It's just crazy. And honestly, they're shrinking their tent. They're basically telling me to they're pushing me to bring my tens of millions of dollars that I've raised and can continue to raise to a different team that treats me better, that treats me with just common decency, that doesn't call me a communist spy. By the way, the communist regime in China killed my great grandfather. They don't know my family's history. This is the first time I'm really saying it on air. They are calling me a spy for the regime that killed my great grandfather. Let that soak in just for a second. That's how disgraceful they are. Yeah. And these are the people who call themselves the social justice warriors.
Yeah, so let's talk today about Lindy Li. And if you don't know who that is, this girl you might have seen on TV extensively over the past couple weeks. She's basically been doing this media tour calling out the Democrat Party. If you don't know who she is, she sat on some type of financial position for the DNC, and she was essentially the main fundraiser for the Kamala Harris campaign. And she has went on this interesting character arc for the past couple of weeks, basically saying, the Democrat Party needs to take accountability. How did we squander not just $1 billion, but when you count in the super PAC money, actually $2 billion? How did we lose so badly? The Democrats are out of touch. This is ridiculous. And it's very interesting to see sort of the civil war that's breaking out right now in the party, because not only do you have the factions that are saying, oh, the establishment lost us the election, or the woke lost us the election. You also have this issue where there's one side of the DNC that wants to take accountability for what happened. Hey, we were out of touch. Hey, how did we blow all this money? And then the other side that is just we did nothing wrong, right? It's the American people's fault. People are racist and sexist. And we're going to give a lot of coverage to that little beef here today. And it's interesting because the reaction I've been seeing about Lindy Li is very interesting. Now, on one hand, a lot of people have gone out and called her basically a grifter, right? She's like, hey, where was this criticism before the election? And I kind of understand that. But at the same time, I've actually seen a lot of hardcore Democrat party line people and Kamala Harris fanboys basically saying that Lindy Li is a traitor. How dare she criticize the way we ran our campaign? We don't want to take any accountability. And it's very interesting. So we're going to show you today. This is basically what, again, this former DNC fundraiser has been going out and saying, and then we'll give you our thoughts. But Ryan, any intro things to say about Lindy Li here?
Yeah, it's a very pissed off woman because she raised a lot of money. Yeah. And it went nowhere. Not only did they do nothing with the money, it was a big fat loss, but they also ended with debt.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that.
They spent it all and then some.
But apparently, let's not take any accountability. So, folks, do us a big favor. Make sure you hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new. And there's a lot of Lindy Li interviews we could react to. She's been on Fox News. She's doing a lot of things. But this is the most recent one. So here's basically a summary of what this, again, former DNC fundraiser has been saying about the party in the last several weeks.
How did this land with you? The stay the course, don't give up from the president and VP?
Thank you so much for having me. I was speaking with fellow donors after this meeting, and there was a briefing in addition to the party, and a lot of people left feeling frustrated because, once again, no one has taken any responsibility. It's been almost 2 months, and no one has given any sort of honest or comprehensive answers as to why they blew through essentially $2.5 billion, because $1.5 billion was raised through the campaign, then another $1 billion was raised through Future Forwards, the super PAC. And there's been no introspection, no sense of humility. A lot of the senior advisors went on Pod Save America and basically blamed everybody else under the sun except themselves.
Yeah, and look, right off the gate. So what Lindy Li is referencing there is, and we covered this, that at that recent DNC fundraiser dinner where they didn't really offer any vision for the future. They're like, stay in the fight. We got this, guys. Everything is fine. Everyone's so happy. What? You just lost the election so badly. Where's the course for the future? But again, interestingly, Lindy Li is being referred to as basically a grifter for this. Now, I think you can make an argument in that direction that hey, she has been a hardcore Democrat, but now she sees the writing on the wall. She's trying to jump ship. I understand all that. But at the same time, if you are a Democrat, I think you should recognize she is making valid points here, right? like whatever her intentions are.
Oh no, 100%. And for someone like her, you could accuse her of being a grifter. That's fine. I get why people would do that. But also at the same time, this is a woman that obviously has put her life's work towards her party. I disagree with her party, but she's put her life work towards it, and she's trying to win. And she realizes there is no winning vision in the Democratic Party right now, and people need to own up and fess up to what the hell happened so that it doesn't happen again for them. Now, personally, I hope nobody takes accountability and they keep making the same mistakes over again. We'll keep winning.
Cast Lindy Li out. Don't take her word seriously. Everything is fine. The only issue, like Politico was talking about today, they ran an article about how Democrats are looking to run Kamala Harris again. Like they're writing this article again. The only issue, she didn't have enough time in the campaign, guys. If she just ran full cycle, she would have won. Like, because that's definitely not the case that Americans grow to dislike Kamala Harris the more they know her. If you just had $3 billion, I'm sure everything would have gone fine.
And there's no future vision in the Democratic Party right now. I'm sure, she sees that too, is that even the names getting thrown out there for 2028 for them, it's just old recycled characters.
Yeah, and even Gavin Newsom,
Gavin Newsom, Pete Buttigieg.
An evolved clone of the same, just like, resist lib establishment candidate.
It's the same crap they've been pushing for the last 10 years.
Yeah. But anyways, let's keep listening a little bit here. And then I got a very interesting clip of a far left progressive calling out Lindy Li from the left. So we'll get into that in a second. But
at this point, do you expect there will be accountability or an explanation for the funds, or does it appear they're moving on?
I think a very interesting tidbit is that of the $500 million in advertising fees, it just went to 4 well-connected Democratic firms, including Bully Pulpit. So this is the consultant class in Washington, D.C. They move from one campaign to the next, and they don't learn any lessons. They're not very self-reflective because there's so much in the game. And just to give people a sense, we were advertising hardcore in Florida. Ruby red Florida now. And why were we doing that? It was because of the money, because of the advertising.
Hey, Ed Krasenstein said that Florida was going to go blue, or it could go blue. I don't know. Well, what about J.N. Seltzer? I mean, they should have known.
If she ran a poll in Florida, I'd be interested to see what it says.
Yeah.
Advertising fees. Regardless of the fact that Kamala Harris's chances of winning Florida are quite low, there was still money to be made. So that was a type of mentality governing the political consultant class.
Will Democrats face challenges, Lindy, raising money next time around if it is not more transparent given the losses of this cycle?
Oh, for sure. And there are backroom conversations happening right now. Some people are fundraising for Republicans now. They're open to a different team who would appreciate and handle their finances better. So the question is this: how can we ever trust you to handle the taxpayer money correctly if you can't even run your own campaign? If you can't even
True. I mean, completely true there. I mean, not much else to say. Anyways, there's basically the media tour that Lindy Li's been on. I think that kind of summarizes it, right? Like, hey, I was fundraising for the DNC. We blew so much money. We shouldn't have been spending it on all these consultants and paying $10 million to celebrities. Like, we just should have ran a better campaign. And again, a lot of Democrats are not happy because they literally cannot take any criticism. But here is what was interesting. So recently on a Piers Morgan panel, we have Francesca, who is just like a crazy, angry wokester. But she actually here criticizes Lindy Li from the left because she, as a progressive, is like, okay, sure, you may be calling out all this stuff now, but it's essentially a grift because where was this accountability before we lost the election to Trump? So here's that clip. Take a listen.
Respect. I just feel that it is so funny that the Democratic Party has also surrounded itself, like the Republican Party, with honestly opportunistic grifters like Lindy Li, who has posited herself as someone who actually cares about American democracy, spotlighting the threats that Trump has posed and will continue to pose to the American people. And now that the Harris campaign lost, which I think was definitely their election to lose, given just how much Trump was like not even trying, and he didn't win by the popular vote he won by less than 50%.
Total cope, by the way. That's such a ridiculous talking point, but we don't have time to address it.
Harris dropped the ball. Lindy Li was all in on the campaign, and now she's pivoting because she's like, you know what? I want to go to the winning side. And now the Hunter Biden laptop story is a thing. That's just so craven and so pathetic. And I'm someone who has not received a single dollar from the Democratic Party or any
Neither have
institution
I.
to talk about my views.
Neither have I. Have you
Okay,
made
now-
so
now- okay.
much
money off of
Now
it.
I will
And
let
it's
Lindy.
so pathetic.
Now
It's
I will
Tell
let
me
Lindy
who I make-
respond.
tell me-
Hang
give
on,
me-
Lindy.
tell me one person
Hang on,
who's paid
Lindy.
me.
Hang
One
on,
person.
Lindy. I will now let you respond.
Tell me one person who's paid me.
I don't know, girl.
Who's
I don't
paid
know.
me?
You tell me. Who's
You're just
paid?
making
You
up
tell
shit.
me.
You're just making up shit. Are we allowed to curse on here?
Yeah.
It's
I don't need
uncensored.
anybody's
Go off.
money. No one has paid me. You're just making this is like libelous. It's defamation. No one has
obviously
paid me.
no one has to pay you. It's all about influencerdom, right? It's
Now
about
you're changing
using
your story.
name
Don't
and
change your
brand.
story. Just
Why-
a minute
why
ago,
is your
you
brand
just said
changing?
that I was a grifter
Why-
and I was
no,
getting
I
paid.
never
and
said
made
you did. I
so
said
many
I didn't.
dollars.
But
You're
why are
making
you
it up.
changing
I don't
your
know
brand?
who you are, respectfully.
Why are you
But I
cha-
have
you don't need to know who
so
I am.
Gavin
Why are you
Newsom,
changing your
who
brand?
came out
No one
and gets
does.
supported. Is
She's
he a
a very
grifter
unfunny
too?
female
Is
comment.
Governor Jared Polis also a grifter
Ryan.
for saying that the pardon was a bad idea?
Yeah, so I mean, great state the Democrat Party's in, right?
It's beautiful watching it. It really is. I mean, this is all out civil war in the Democratic Party. That's total chaos.
Yeah.
And if that's
a cat fight.
if that's what the future of the vision of the party looks like, if that's the conversations being had, it's going to be a hell of the next 8 years.
Yeah.
Just 2028 is going to be even bigger.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, I guess let's address that question. Like, what do you think Lindy Li's real intentions are? Because honestly, I don't know. It's not that I really care.
Yeah.
But I would also say the fact that, so, you know, I kind of do get what Francesca is saying. Because if you're a true, honest, diehard liberal, you probably do look at Lindy Li like, okay, suddenly now after we lost to Trump, now you're speaking up. But again, I want to point out, I've seen a lot of criticism from like the hardcore Democrat people, like the hardcore party line Democrats saying she's a traitor, she's scum, she's a turncoat, she's going over to MAGA. And I think that is just so completely delusional.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I don't know what her intentions are, and I'm not going to assume it, but I do think it's in somewhat her genuine best interest for the party. I don't think she's out there to like grift and be a turncoat and things like that. I mean, if she's dedicated her life to raising money for the Democratic Party, she obviously is very passionate about it.
Well, I mean, what she's saying is objectively correct too.
Yeah, no, it's 100%
It's like very
correct.
hard to argue against.
And
How
it's-
did we waste $2 billion if
Yeah.
we lost all the swing states in the popular vote?
If I was a Democrat and I was trying to raise money and be smart about the future, I'd probably be saying something similar to what Lindy Li's saying right now. If this was the Republican Party, I'd be the Republican Lindy Li right now saying these things. I mean, it's a total mess right now, and she's coming out and saying it. And just like, who's the one mega donor lawyer in the Democratic Party? John Morgan. He's been on a tour similar to this, talking about the mess of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't consider these people turncoats. They're just have their genuine best interest for their party because they know that if it keeps going on the track it's on, they're going to lose a lot.
I think Lindy Li made a very interesting point in that opening clip that at that recent DNC fundraiser, you know, their Christmas reception, holiday reception, because that's what they call it in their party, that basically the message from Biden, Kamala, and everyone was stay the course, guys, just a little more money. We'll get them next time, whatever. And I look at that. I look at the fact that a lot of donors have just lost trust institutionally in this party. I don't see how they recover between now and 2028. You know, yeah, if there's like a massive recession in 2027, sure, they could basically just walk into the White House. But it doesn't, you know, usually historically, like when a party gets decimated in an election like this, it usually takes 2 cycles to recover that, right? Like, sure, Democrats lost bad in 1980 with Jimmy Carter, but 1984 just steamrolled, right? 88, you run Dukakis. It took until 1992 for Bill Clinton to basically like reinvent the image of the Republican Party. Yeah. Similar thing you could say like in the 60s, even I would say, you know, 2008, right? Losing to Barack Obama.
Yeah.
2012, we basically kind of were still the same party, lost again, got embarrassed, and then finally 2 election cycles later, course correct, total revolution of the party like Trump. It seems to me right now that's the course it's headed, where you're going to have some fringe voices in 2028 saying, look, we need to go in a different direction. Just running Gavin Newsom or Kamala Harris is not going to cut it. Like, we need to fundamentally change as a party. But I the way it is looking right now, I don't want to make any early projections, but it seems like it's going to take time for them to fully course correct at this rate.
Yeah, they're going to need to take some time to rebrand and regroup and rethink what they want the Democratic Party to be. And let's be fair, they haven't had a real primary in a long time.
Well, who knows if they're going to have
if they're going to even have a primary.
They don't. Again, 2028, that Democrat primary might be the last gasp of Pelosi and that establishment.
The last grip they have on this, because then it's the AOCs of the world taking over.
Right.
And if
the
you're
last battle cry of the geriatrics,
and if you're a donor of the Democratic Party, they're not so democratic anymore. Why would you want to donate to that party? They're not even holding primaries.
And they're not even using your money for anything.
No, they're not using it usefully. They're giving it to Beyonce.
Beyonce, yeah, absolutely ridiculous. All right, with that said, though, guys, let us know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below. Lindy Li, the character arc, where does the Democrat Party go from here? We have our popcorn. We're just watching. We're enjoying the civil war going on. But let us know. Be sure to leave a like on this video. Subscribe if you are new. And until next time, God bless and peace.